Good afternoon, everyone. It's about 10 to 3 here in the UK, and the American session been running for about 20 minutes. As you can see, the advances slightly ahead of the declines, and the S&P 500 doing its best to push through that vital 3,500 level. Hasn't quite got there. And as you can see, after a down day, yesterday it actually reversed at the end of the day, and we ended up with an up day, and an up day with a little black star in there, so that's quite good. VectorVest advocates buying safe undervalued stocks that are rising in price at this time, and as you can see, all of the measures of the trend on VectorVest are up. If we have a look at the market timing chart, and we can see that divergence is still in place. The market doing its best to attack that level, and that's the reversal day that we saw yesterday. The market opened, went right down, and then reversed, a very strong reversal, and it's gapped up a little bit this morning. So getting through these highs will be very important indeed. I'm quite positive. I think that the market is a one-trick pony, folks, and that's stimulus. And whether the stimulus comes from Nancy or whether it comes from Donald, I think that the stimulus will probably come. Nevertheless, I shall trade the market, not the forecast. There's the confirmed call, up since the 8th of October. That is the DEW, up from a few days before that, and then that's the primary wave, that's up from the 28th of the 9th. That's when I first started to take positions in the American market. All looking quite good, and if we go to viewers, and I've added to a few positions here since I've last spoken. I've got Hortons, only bought into that yesterday. It's up a tad today. Zoom, and Zoom is one that I want to try and look at a little bit, because as you can see, it's trading 10 times the VectorVest valuation, but it's still got a relative value of 1.36 and growth rate of 53%. So the market valuing the thing based on what it's going to do in the future as opposed to what it has done. I felt that the growth fundamentals were good there. I'm going to chart all of these right down to the last one, because there's some good examples of swing trades. That's Horton, and Horton is a stock that's, there's earnings per share rising from $5 to $6.50, and pushing up here through this ascending triangle, and you can see the VectorVest valuations a long way up the page. So that is was a relatively easy trade as it broke out of that. We shall see what happens. Now this is Zoom, and as you can see, this huge earnings growth, and many of you will spend half your life on Zoom, so you'll know why. If we look at the share in a little bit more detail, there's a great example of a swing trade here, and this is what I'll be talking about on the VectorVest Summit next Monday afternoon. If we put on volume here, folks, we can see that volume is such a really good indicator, and take everything else off so we can see it. Huge volume as it rises, pulls back on falling volume, and then rises on huge volume again, and then goes sideways on virtually no volume, and I couldn't resist buying into that at about 500, and it's going quite nicely. My stop is now at entry. I just did that this afternoon, where does that go on to? My stop is at entry, and I've taken a little bit, and I'm going to let the other half run for as long as I can keep my little hands off it. So that's a particularly good swing trade. Trend is in place. The 21's above the 55. The share has got really strong growth fundamentals. The general market is rising, and all of the measures of the general market are up, and the volume picture is exceptionally good, and all I had to do was to sort of wait for the little trigger. We discussed this at the Guildford User Group the other night, and it's nothing more complicated than this textbook triangle wave A, B, C, D, and E. 5 waves, and as Mr. Gann used to say, it broke perfectly on the 4th attempt. Do they all go as well as that? Of course they don't, but nevertheless that's an example of ticking all the boxes. And folks, for me, in my own conservative way, I need 3 or 4 really good trades like that a month to have a good month. So that one's a good one. That's Centene. I've been in it for a while, off a little bit today. The volume not great here, rising and falling volume. Probably needs to pull back a little bit. My stop is at entry at 61 odd. We'll see what happens. AMD. AMD again got outstanding EPS growth here. But I'm hanging in here. My stop's at entry, where I got in somewhere about here, but the chart action doesn't excite me a great deal. Let's see what happens. Our Guildford User Group said and remarked quite rightly that looked like a Head and Shoulders, potential Head and Shoulders reversal to him, and of course he's 100% correct. Target is still going strong, you little beauty, and that is just a textbook cup and handle pattern. Again, we've got everything in place, great fundamentals, the market's rising, the shares trending strongly, earnings per share has been marked up strongly, and I won't bother you with it, but the volume picture is excellent as well. When you tick all those boxes, then your hit rate goes up, and secondly your risk to reward goes up. It's not difficult, but sitting and waiting for them is the difficult bit, and as I keep telling to the VectorVest people, doing nothing is much more difficult than it would seem. So let's go quickly. That's NEO. Now I got lucky in NEO because I bought it before it actually broke here, but as you can see, earnings per share is rising, and we go a little bit longer here, we can see this in-your-face volume action. Now in relatively small stocks, this is quite easy to see. On the S&P 500 stocks, volume's much more difficult to see because there's a great deal of trading going on that's got nothing to do with the share itself. As you can see, this was rising, huge volume, rising on huge volume, rising here on huge volume, pulling back on falling volume, and I got lucky here as it moved up on huge volume. To me, this looks as if there's an awful lot more to come here in this little share. Stop already at entry. And I've taken a little bit, let it hopefully run. As you can see, lovely example of a symmetrical triangle here where it broke. I didn't get in at the breakout, I was sleeping, only got in here somewhere. And that's Apple. Hopefully this support can hold it here. As you can see, moved up on really good volume, going sideways and falling volume. That's a really good reason to hold on to it, and many people would say that Apple is a share you should hold forever. Just remember, this is not a position trade, this is a swing trade, this is an income trade. And that's LVGO. I thought I was away to the races when it went up like this on really good volume. It's now pulled back. I missed getting stopped out by a tick or two yesterday, and hopefully it can keep going. So those are swing trades. The reason I'm spending quite a bit of time on them, folks, is that I won't have as much time to talk about them on Monday afternoon at the VectorVest Summit, where I'm actually going to do my best to walk through all of the steps that are required so that you can tick the boxes, so that one, you can get trades with an acceptable hit rate, and much more importantly, you can get trades with a really high risk to reward ratio. Gold market is hanging in here with the stock market, and I've still got that position in the GDX. I still haven't bought any UK shares. There's the UK market. Ghastly day yesterday. The market was down 2%, as you know, but it's made up 1% of that today. All of the measures of the trend are up apart from the primary wave. And if I look at viewers, I haven't done anything since the last time I reported here. Plus was up, CCC was off a little bit, and if I resort these by RT, we've got shares that are doing well at the top, shares that are not doing well at the bottom, and Cranswick is a worry, folks. It just doesn't want to hold that level at all. This share was over £40 a little while ago, and it just couldn't hold that at all. So the numbers on VectorVest are impeccable, but if I have to take action, I shall take action. So those are the shares that I'm holding in the UK, and I'm going to do my best to hold on to all of those as long as the general market is rising, as confirmed by, as indicated by a confirmed call. So I hope you found this useful. The gold market needs to confirm. Very conservative traders will want a close, or at least a push up through 1963. That's still the number in place. If I get any the research this weekend spits out another number that's lower than that, then I shall in fact report that at the start of next week. So for now, those people that want to build a position in gold stocks, do your best, sit in your hands and let the gold market move above 1963 before getting on board. I think that Pan African Resources is showing a beautiful flag pattern, and Polymetals made a nice little double bottom. They both look positive. Let's see what the gold price does. There is still a probability of another leg down in gold that would run the stops below the last low that was made a couple of weeks ago. So guys, I look forward to seeing you on the VectorVest Summit. If you haven't got a registration, VectorVest.com/summit, and there's 3 days of free education there. Thanks very much.